Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great week. For this week, lesson 4, we are going to start working on our next writing assignment, which is the This I Believe assignment. So, as you have a chance to kind of review what we're doing for that piece, I hope that you'll be able to review this video and that it will be helpful to you. First of all, here are the This I Believe directions, and you'll see these in your content tab, so be sure to look at these before you start writing. Basically, you're writing a short reflective essay in which you explain a statement of your personal belief. So an ideal, a principle, something that you just believe strongly in. You're also going to offer supporting reasons and experiences that why you hold this belief. So something that's important to you, something about your worldview and how it has enriched your life. So in the essay yourself, you're also going to be saying, I believe in this. And that's your way of stating very clearly your thesis statement, and then you'll describe that. Here are your due dates at a glance. Lesson 4 this week, midweek, your first draft is due, and then you will take a peer review to your gathering. Next week, midweek, you have a second draft due, and then also take that to your gathering. And then at the end of lesson 5 next week, your final draft is due. Obviously, I didn't put in the specific due dates for you because they will change for everybody, but go take a look at those on your own course work. It should show up for you if you put in your correct time, and then you'll have that. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too confusing, but I wanted to kind of lay out for you exactly what we're doing in this essay. The This I Believe essay has a thinking portion and it has a narrative portion. So your thinking portion is just where you describe what it is that you believe. This I believe in something in particular. And as you look at examples, you'll see some ideas that can help you with that. But you're also going to have a narrative portion where you tell a story to demonstrate what you believe. Both of these things together are going to help you fulfill your purpose as an author to create a certain mood in your audience, to really demonstrate and show why what you believe is important, why it has certain implications for the way that you have lived your life, and how maybe that can affect somebody else as well, right? Okay, so now that we've sort of talked about what this essay is and what it does, I'd like to do some brainstorming about how we can get started thinking about, pinpointing what your belief is. It can feel really abstract, so I just want to give you a place to start as you think, well, what do I want to write about? Okay, so this I believe. Is there something about your perspective or your worldview that's different from those around me? I was actually first introduced to this I believe in high school. It was one of the writing assignments that I had in just a high school English class. And I remember one essay that we read in particular because somebody wrote an essay, and I haven't been able to find who it was, but This I Believe essay was, I believe that you don't have to be passionate about your career. I mean, this person wrote an essay about how sometimes a job is just a job, and there are other things in life that you can be passionate about. And that stuck with me because a lot of times you hear people will describe, you have to love what you do, and that has to be so important. And this person was kind of refuting that. I just don't think it was that important to be passionate about your career, and that really stuck with me. So is there something about you and how you view the world that's different from the common wisdom in our culture? And if so, how could you write about that, and how could you explain why that's important? Is there a certain belief that you've tried to pass on to your children? Something that you've always tried to get your kids to understand? Maybe something along the lines of that phrase that's always attributed to Marjorie Pay Hinckley, never suppress a generous thought. Maybe is there something like that you always try to live your life and pass on to people around you? You could write about something like that. Is there a pivotal moment or experience where you learned something? So you can't just write about one moment. You can't just tell a story, but you also have to expand on that and say, this reiterated something, a belief that was important to me. So maybe you served a mission, and maybe it was a super hard mission, and you knocked on doors and nobody wanted to listen to you. But you learned through that experience, I believe in loving people even when they don't like you, right? So you could talk about that story, and you could talk about the implications of loving everybody and how that's maybe not around in our culture very much, and why it's important to you. You could also write about something that you love that's changed your life. Be careful with this one. I think this is a great place to start, but you can't just write about, I love making pottery, and I believe that making pottery is a good thing to do. That's a place to start, but you need to expand on that. You're going to read an essay, a This I Believe essay, called The Making of Poems this week. The author is Orr. So he doesn't just write about how he likes poetry. He talks about how poetry is an affirmation of life. So poetry is important to him because of something that it's taught him or because of something it's done for him. So for me personally, I might write about baking. Tend to be kind of an introverted person, kind of a quiet person, but I believe in the power of baking. And the reason I love baking is because it's a way that I found to serve people around me without being really loud and show offy about it. So basically, I believe in finding personal ways to serve. I believe in finding your moment to serve people, and that's why I believe in baking, right? So there's a lot of places you can go with this. Hopefully this gives you some places where you can start thinking about what it is that you believe in your worldview. As you've thought about something that you want to write about, you can always return back to our Lesson 3 pre-writing video that was in our paragraph and essay development. These are some questions that came from there. As you sort of talked, you maybe have pinpointed what you want to talk about that you believe. Ask yourself, why did I choose this topic? What does it mean to me? How has it changed your life? Why does it matter? That's a huge one for this. This I Believe essay is kind of all about why your belief matters. And how have I come to believe the way I do? So that way maybe would demonstrate the story that you want to tell. Also make some lists. How would your life be different without this belief? What are all the ways that this belief is important? There's all sorts of places that you could go with that. So again, if you need to return here as you look more at this assignment, I hope that you'll do so. I hope that this brainstorming activity has been helpful for you. In our next announcement later this week, I will post some information about how to flesh out your ideas in the This I Believe essay. Again, always feel free to visit the Writing Center if you need help, or you can shoot me an email and I'll be totally happy to talk to you about it. So thanks, have a great week, do good work, and good luck.